She never thought anyone noticed her. In a room full of laughter, chatter, and eyes that glanced past her, she was invisible. Her name was Sumin. Quiet, polite, polished, always putting others first. A habit that had become her second skin. She was the steady, silent foundation of the team. The one who made sure everything ran smoothly. Never asking for credit. Never seeking the spotlight. She had learned long ago that it was safer to be unseen, to blend into the background like the wallpaper. And perhaps that's precisely why he saw her. He was Jiho, the kind of man who commanded a room without saying a word. His standards were notoriously high. His focus, laser. He didn't look at anyone twice, not because he was arrogant, but because he rarely found anything worth a second glance. His world was one of efficiency, logic, and forward momentum. Until one day, he caught her smile. It happened during a chaotic team meeting. Everyone was talking over each other, a cacophony of ideas and egos. But in a brief moment of quiet, as a colleague made a small, silly joke, Sumin's lips curved into a smile. It wasn't a broad grin, but something small, delicate, almost a secret. It was a smile so genuine and unguarded that it lingered in Jiho's mind long after she had turned away and her neutral expression returned. For Sumin, it was just another ordinary, exhausting day. For Jiho, it was the first time he had truly noticed someone like her. Days turned into weeks. Every time their paths crossed in the hallway or the break room, a subtle game began. A look. A pause that lasted a fraction of a second too long. A quiet curiosity that neither dared to speak aloud. Sumin felt a nervous energy thrumming under her skin. She was unsettled, even flustered. What was he thinking? Was he judging her work? Did he find her quietness strange? Or was he seeing her? Truly seeing the person behind the politfake? She was so used to being a ghost in the machine that the idea of being observed was both terrifying and strangely exhilarating. Then came the small gestures, so subtle that anyone else would have missed them. A door held open just for her when she was carrying a stack of files. A quiet compliment on a minor detail in a presentation no one else even remembered she'd contributed to. A shared glance across a crowded room during a boring company-wide announcement. A silent acknowledgement of their mutual boredom. Nothing big, nothing loud, but for Sumin, these tiny moments were like drops of rain on parched earth. They were enough. Her heart, long dormant, whispered a tentative question. Maybe someone notices me after all. But Sumin was afraid. She was afraid to hope, because hope had a history of letting her down. She was afraid to let someone see the part of her. She kept so carefully hidden the part that had dreams, opinions, and a voice. It was easier to stay in her comfortable, invisible shell. And yet, every time Jiho looked away with that unreadable, intense gaze, it felt like her courage grew, not with loud words, not with sudden acts of bravery, but quietly, softly, in the spaces between their glances. It was a slow, Hentlean footling, like a flower turning toward a distant sun. One evening, as the city lights began to twinkle outside, Sumin was working late, trying to perfect a report. The office was empty, save for her and Jiho, who was also finishing up at his desk across the room. The moonlight filtered through the large office window, casting long shadows. It walked not to her desk, but to the window, looking out at the sprawling cityscape below. After a moment of shared silence, he spoke, his voice low and steady. Your ideas in the marketing proposal last week, they were remarkable. You're smarter than anyone here gives you credit for. He didn't turn to look at her as he said it. It wasn't a boast. It wasn't a pickup line. It was a simple statement of fact, delivered with genuine admiration. Sumin's fingers froze over her keyboard. All her life, she had fought to prove her worth, to be heard, to be seen. She had thought she needed to be louder, bolder, more aggressive. But in that moment, she realized something profound. She didn't need to fight to be seen. She only needed to believe she was worthy of being seen. His validation wasn't the prize. It was the key that unlocked a door she hadn't known was closed. From that day forward, something shifted inside her. She didn't shrink when someone looked her way. She smiled more freely. Not just the small, secret smiles, but open, warm ones. Her voice, once barely a whisper in meetings, grew stronger, clearer. She began to offer her opinions, not with hesitation, but with a quiet confidence that was impossible to ignore. Her entire presence became radiant. Jiho noticed. Yes, but it no longer mattered if others did. She wasn't performing for an audience anymore. She had found herself, and she liked who she was. Their connection deepened, built on a foundation of mutual respect. They shared quiet moments of understanding, inside jokes that needed no words, and an easy trust. There were no dramatic confrontations, no shouting matches, no overpowering gestures of affection. Their relationship was like a slow-burning fire, providing warmth and light without the need for a roaring flame. It was a quiet connection, and that's what made it all the more powerful. Little did Sumi know, however, that Jiho had been noticing something else all along. It wasn't just her intelligence or her secret smile. He saw the resilience in her quietness, the strength in her gentleness. He saw the way she cared for others without expecting anything in return. He saw the depth of character she possessed, a quality far rarer and more valuable than the loudest voice in the room. And this realization, this deeper seeing, was about to change everything for both of them. Sometimes, the greatest power we have isn't in forcing the world to look at us. It's in having the courage to let someone see who we truly are. It's in trusting that the right person won't just see you, but will fall quietly in admiration for the very things that make you, you. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that explores the quiet strength within all of us. See you next time.